everybody, welcome. Thank you again for your patience. I'm going to have to do some Zoom education myself after this, but we'll get started. We are lucky enough to have Cristen Marine with us again for our session number 2 of our Health and Wealth series. She is from The Natural Journey. Her company focuses on creating the best possible version of yourself. Today we're doing exercise, movement, relationships, and your environment, and we're very excited to hear what she has to say on the topic today. Thank you so much again for joining us, Cristen. We appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
All right, if we're ready to get started, I will give you the screen.
Okay. Oh. All right. Can everybody see that? I hope so. Well, hello and welcome back, everyone. I really appreciate you joining us again today to making this next deposit into your health savings account. The intention for today's presentation is going to be inspiring you to take action. Again, just quick disclaimers that all content in this presentation is for information and educational purposes only. It is not intended to provide medical advice or to take place of treatment from a physician. The Natural Journey and Cristen Marine take no responsibility for health consequences of any person or persons reading and following the information in this educational content. All readers and viewers should consult with their doctor or a qualified health professional before taking any nutrition, supplement, medication, or other health changes and or with any specific questions. No information in this presentation should be used as a diagnosis to treat, prevent, or cure any disease or condition. This presentation is for educational purposes only, and I have nothing to disclose. And the last disclaimer before we get started is my exercise disclaimer, which says, please note that I am a health coach. As such, I'm unable to give specific exercise recommendations. If you are interested in starting an exercise program or improving on your current fitness level, please seek out a qualified personal trainer. In addition, this is a high-level overview as we don't have time to discuss specific exercise recommendations for those with disabilities or chronic diseases, pregnant women, children, and young people. Always consult your doctor before beginning any exercise program, especially if you have any chronic or reoccurring conditions, or if you experience chest pains or have uncontrolled blood pressure or other uncontrolled chronic diseases. Not all exercises are suitable for everyone. By performing any exercise in this program, you are assuming all risk or injury of doing so. The Natural Journey and Cristen Marine are not responsible or liable for any injury or loss you may sustain by participating in any exercise program. Always warm up before beginning any workout and never exercise beyond the level at which you feel comfortable. Stop exercising immediately if you experience pain, soreness, fatigue, shortness of breath, dizziness, lightheadedness, blurred vision, headache, nausea, sickness, illness, dehydration, excessive sweating, or any other discomfort. If any of these symptoms persist after you stop exercising, please seek immediate medical attention immediately. And the Natural Journey and Cristen Marine make no representation or warranty, whether expressed or implied, with respect to safety, usefulness, or results of any exercise program. All right, now that the business has been covered, let's get down to the fun part. So I thought we might just take a minute to quickly recap session 1. So if we'll remember, our definition of health is a set of behaviors and activities that allow us to thrive. How we think about and define health makes us an enormous difference as it guides the decisions we make, the activities we pursue, and the behaviors we engage in. Stress resilience, as Kelly McGonigal, PhD, gave us our new definition, is, quote, stress is what arises when something we care about is at stake. We become resilient to stress by choosing to honor our limits, connecting with others, getting outdoors, and making laughter a daily habit. We discussed various relaxation techniques, such as setting an intention throughout the day, scheduling regular breaks in our routine, meditating, or going for walks. And lastly, we all made major strides in improving the quality of our sleep by implementing some of the guidelines I shared. Like 10 hours before sleep, we're going to stop drinking caffeine. 3 hours before going to bed, we're going to stop eating and drinking. 2 hours, stop working or watching anything emotionally charged. 1 hour, stop using electronics or wear blue blocking glasses if we must be on them. We're not going to hit that snooze button anymore. And when we get up for the day, we're going to start off with, today will be a great day. And consider getting outside for 5 to 10 minutes within the hour of waking up to set your circadian rhythm for the day. Remember, we are each on our own health and wellness journey. And James Clear said it best by saying, you only need to know the direction, not the destination. The direction is enough to make the next choice. For the next segment of our journey together, we're going to discuss exercise and movement, as well as relationships and our environment. As you listen to today's presentation, I challenge you to find one thing that you're ready to act on and let us know at the end of the presentation. After all, knowledge is meant for action. If habits are the compound interest of self-improvement, I thought we might need to visit the steps to create our new upgraded habits. A lot of my clients dream big and they want to make large strides or leaps towards their goals, rather than breaking their goals down into small, actionable steps. One time I even got yelled at by a client for not supporting her 10 lofty action leaps she set for herself on our very first session together. It might come as no surprise to you, but she did not take a single step that week. Unfortunately, she is not unique. Like her, many of my clients come back to me discouraged because they didn't act. Some even canceled their sessions. So they don't have to tell me they failed. But I'm here to tell you that is when you need to show up. This is when we get to be honest with ourselves. We are afraid to take small steps because they seem too easy, and oftentimes they don't give us immediate results. Some of us may give small steps a try for a short while, but then we slip back into the old habits because it's too easy not to. No reward, no action. On top of that, the single decisions are easy to dismiss. Let's take an example, French fries. They're one of my guilty pleasures, even though I know they are not good for me and move me away from my health goals, so I'll use them to make my point. Let's say every day I find a reason to eat French fries. Maybe I just had a bad session with a client, or I just yelled at my mom. Maybe I woke up on the wrong side of the bed, or I'm having lunch with my nephews who love French fries just as much as I do. And oh my goodness, this restaurant has truffle fries, how indulgent. I'm going to get an order of those. Every day I'm able to rationalize this single bad decision, but this seemingly small choice compounds over the course of the year. And now I find I have gained weight, my blood pressure is elevated, and so is my blood sugar. The decision to eat French fries was insignificant in the moment, but those moments add up over the course of the year and now are reflected in my poor blood work. One last thing before I give up some steps for creating new behaviors. Let's start reframing the way we perceive failure and call it a learning opportunity. We don't fail. We get curious about why a particular goal did not inspire us into action. With that new knowledge, we can decide on our new course of action that is more in line with who we are and our desires. Success or failure is a product of daily habits. We need to start seeing them and being concerned with the daily choices we're making, and if they're moving us towards our best self rather than worrying about momentary results. In James Clear's book, Atomic Habit, he suggests searching for teeny margins of improvement in everything we do. He suggests that if we aim to improve by 1% every day of the year, we will be 37 times better by the end of the year. Those are pretty impressive odds. So how do we set ourselves up for success? First, choose a desired outcome. You want this to be something that you want more than the thing you have right now. Know your why. Get specific. Make it exciting so that you're pulled by motivation. Visualize your desired outcome. See it like a movie. What do you see? How do you feel? What do you taste? Who's with you? What are you experiencing? See how much detail you can conjure up. Plan for obstacles and setbacks. What are they? What will you do if they pop up? Can you do anything to prevent them in advance? Secure the necessary resources. If your goal is to start walking, do you have walking shoes or do you need to get new ones? Secure accountability. We are 95% more likely to commit if we have an accountability partner. Tell someone about your goals. Better yet, enlist them to join you. Habit stacking. This is one of my favorite tricks. If you want to start a new habit, attach it to a habit that already exists. For example, when I sit down for a meal, I will take my supplements. If habit stacking doesn't work, then you can use a cue to do the new behavior. Will you set an alarm? Will you put your keys in your tennis shoes? By stacking your habits or creating cues, you will be reminded that it's time to do your new behavior. Schedule it. I'm guilty here. I absolutely hate scheduling things, but we are 42% more likely to do something if we actually schedule it as opposed to leave it to chance. And lastly, celebrate. You kept your commitment to yourself, you showed up for yourself, and you did the work. Take a moment to acknowledge your success and thank yourself. James Clear says, the hallmark of compounding process is the most powerful outcomes are delayed. Time magnifies the margins between success and failure. It will multiply what you feed it. Good habits make time your ally, bad habits make time your enemy. Mastery requires patience. According to getamericastanding.org, the average person sits on average 10 hours a day. According to the Mayo Clinic, those who sit for more than 8 hours a day with no physical activity had a risk of dying similar to the risk of death from obesity and smoking. Sitting for long periods of time has been associated with increased blood pressure, high blood sugar, excess body fat around the waist, and abnormal cholesterol levels. Increased risk of death from cardiovascular disease and some cancers. Today we sit in our cars, we sit at our desk, and then we get home and we sit on the sofa, binging the latest Netflix series or checking out by scrolling on our social media feeds. These are all luxuries we all indulge in. It is estimated that the average person spends roughly 2.5 hours scrolling social media daily, and only 2 hours per week exercising, and only 37 minutes a day prepping, serving, and cleaning up our meals. Maybe you've seen some of these inspirational quotes from across your feed, inspiring you to exercise. Well, I put them here in hopes to inspire you once again. A few of my favorites are, quote, exercise not only changes your body, it changes your mind, your attitude, and your mood. Do something today that your future self will thank you for. And lastly, sometimes you won't feel like working out, but when you do, it makes your day. I know the word exercise can be triggering for some of us, but exercise has many names and forms like movement, sports, practice, training, play, working out, pumping iron, dancing, yoga, and even Tai Chi. Whatever you like to call it, my wish for you is that you discover the way that you love to move your body so that you'll want to do it most days of the week. 5 tips to working out safely. I know these may seem obvious, but I've learned one thing during my time as a coach. It is don't assume anything, meet people where they're at. So here we are. We're going to begin slowly. We're going to choose the appropriate activity, type, and duration and frequency of exercise to help reduce the risk of injury. Exercise caution when starting a new exercise program if you have chronic health conditions, currently live a sedentary life, are pregnant, or an older individual. Consider the climate you're going to be working out in. In the summer, you may consider exercising at dusk or dawn when it's cooler, taking frequent breaks, wearing lightweight clothing, wearing sun protection such as hat and sunscreens. In the winter, you may want to decrease your pace or intensity as needed because cold, dry air restricts our airway, causing shortness of breath, coughing, and wheezing. We want to insulate our hands and extremities with gloves and socks and hats. We need to take time to warm up and cool down. We should dress in layers so we get hot, we can take them off. And wear sun protection as needed. Let's not forget the importance of staying hydrated. Make sure you drink enough fluids before, during, and after your workout to increase endurance and overall performance. Here's a couple helpful tricks. 2 to 3 hours before exercising, drink 15 to 20 ounces of water. 10 to 15 minutes before exercising, drink 8 to 10 ounces of water. Drink water every 10 to 15 minutes during your exercise. Consider using electrolytes. Use proper form and equipment to avoid injury. Seek out the guidance from a personal trainer to learn how to perform exercises properly. Wear appropriate clothing, shoes, and safety gear. Listen to your body. I'm going to repeat that. Listen to your body. How are you feeling? Having your sore muscles after exercising is to be expected, but feeling exhausted and more sore than normal may be a sign that your body has not yet recovered from the previous exercise. Don't be a victim to the program you have created for yourself. Pivot and adjust based on the needs of your body on any given day. Seek medical care immediately if you have chest pains during or after exercise, a joint is out of position, or you hear popping, or if you have a serious injury, experience severe pain, and or are bleeding. According to the American College of Sports Medicine, they recommend following a minimum exercise guideline of 150 minutes per week of moderate intensity aerobic activity. This activity level comes with increased breathing, but you're still able to talk. Examples include brisk walking, cycling, or swimming. Or 75 minutes per week of vigorous intensity aerobic activity. This activity level comes with breathing fast, making it difficult to talk. Examples include running, climbing stairs, or sports such as soccer or tennis. Or you can do a combination of those two aerobic activities. In addition to aerobic activity, we want to do muscle strengthening activities on 2 or more days per week that work out all of our major muscle groups. Muscle strengthening activities help keep muscles, bones, and joints strong. Examples are weightlifting, yoga, or carrying heavy bags from our car to our kitchen after grocery shopping. If you want to lose weight without losing muscle, it's important that you prioritize strength-based exercise into your routine. Most people prioritize cardio fitness over weight-bearing exercises. But in my personal opinion, muscle strengthening is the most important type of activity we all need to be doing on a regular basis because we lose 3 to 5% of our muscle mass per decade after the age of 30. And muscles are what help us stay active and stable as we age. In addition, consider doing balancing exercises to reduce your chances of frailty and falls as we age. Things like Tai Chi, dancing, bowling, standing on one leg, slack lines are all great ways to work on your balance. Here's a challenge for you. Try standing on one leg while brushing your teeth. Lastly, minimize sedentary time and break up periods of inactivity. You can do this by going out for walks around the block, stretching after a phone call, or doing some anti-gravity exercises like climbing the stairs or doing the nitric oxide dump. Some of the most frequent questions I get asked from my clients include, what is the best type of workout? The kind that gets you moving and you enjoy it so you'll do it consistently. As I mentioned earlier, try and prioritize weight-bearing activities to help maintain and maybe even put on some muscle. When is the best time to work out? When you're going to do it consistently. As a general rule, don't work out 1.5 to 3 hours before your bed, as exercise does release cortisol and can impact your sleep. Is it better to work out fasted or after you have eaten? Both have their benefits and drawbacks, but again, it comes down to your personal preference and how you feel. Working out fasted, your body will store will use stored energy to power your workout. But if you don't feel like you have enough energy to power your workout, you may benefit from working out after you eat. Whereas working out after a meal helps drive down blood glucose levels, which can be helpful for type 2 diabetics. But Kristen, I don't have time to go to the gym for 1 hour every day. All right, you can split up the hour throughout the day. Can you park further away from the door so you can get in a couple extra steps? Can you get off the elevator 1 floor early and take the stairs? Can you lift some weights or do some squats while your coffee's brewing? Can you do some chair yoga at your desk after a call to get in some stretching? If you aren't able to exercise for an hour, find ways to sprinkle it into your day. Exercise should be a celebration of what our bodies can do, not a punishment for what we ate or for sitting too long. And your body will pay you back in dividends by putting in work, because exercise helps us maintain our weight, helps us manage our stress, improves our sleep, improves our anxiety and depression, and reduces our risk of type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, falls, joints, and back pain, and certain cancers. Now is the time to take action. Start with a small actionable goal that doesn't require major stretch from your current state. Once you're comfortable and have succeeded with that for a couple of weeks, consider increasing your intensity or the duration slightly to challenge your body so that it will grow and adapt. Environment, a chemical storm. What I'm about to share may seem big and scary. You may feel overwhelmed and not sure where to start, but I ask that you listen with an open mind and remember we are on this journey together. I will share the scary stuff first because awareness and education are part of the journey. Then I will share actionable steps we can all take to start improving our environments. 80,000 toxic chemicals have been released into our environment since the dawn of the Industrial Revolution. Yet very few have been tested for their long-term impact on human health. Our environment can literally be making us sick and we don't even realize it. Dr. Mark Hyman likes to say, our genetics load the gun and our environment pulls the trigger. What is he talking about? Dr. Hyman is talking about biochemical individuality, a concept that physiological and biochemical composition of each person is unique, and that the composition is based upon the interactions of our individual genetic makeup with our lifestyle and environment. Thus, it is of utmost importance that we consider our environment when we think about our health. So you might be asking, what does she even mean about the environment? They're the homes we live in, the cars we drive, the offices we work in, and the parks we play in. Our environment are the spaces we inhabit. So where are all these toxins hiding out? Well, to put it bluntly, they are everywhere. In our food as additives, preservatives and colorings, herbicides and pesticides, untested skincare products we lather on. Ladies, I'm talking to you here. The average woman uses 12 different beauty products per day. Air fresheners. I'm not gonna lie to you on this one. This is something I miss the most, but I know how toxic they are, so they have no place in my home. Conventional cleaning products, conventional lawn care products, non-stick cookware such as Teflon that we all love, food packaging such as plastic containers, cups and straws, and baking with aluminum foil, the clothing we wear and the detergent we wash them in, building materials, for example, formaldehyde in our flooring, which off-gases into our homes. And for some of us, we even have occupational exposures that put our health at risk. Oh, great. Kristen just basically told me I have to throw everything out of my house and start fresh. This is going to be expensive, and Matt and Rick are not going to be happy with our spending. But not so fast. Let's start by looking at our daily habits and seeing where we might like to start. Here's some questions to ask yourself. What do you do with your body every day? What skincare products are you using? What cleaning products do you use daily, weekly, or monthly? What do you eat? What are you eating and drinking out of? Containers, food packaging. What clothes are you putting on? what are you putting on your clothes? Since your habits are your greatest source of exposure, start by choosing one habit and find a way to make it healthier. For example, let's pick a low-hanging fruit to address first. Let's say you drink 8 cups of tea a day, and you're currently buying conventional tea in plastic tea bags. You could avoid drinking tea forever, problem solved, but now what are you going to drink? Or you could stop buying that brand and find a healthier brand that uses unbleached paper bags, or choose loose leaf tea instead. Another option for upgrading our environment would be replacing them with healthier alternatives once you run out of your current product. For example, when you run out of your laundry detergent, swap it out for a cleaner, healthier product. With this approach, you're not throwing away everything in your home all at once, and you can slowly replace items, thus not overwhelming yourself or your wallet. Work your way through your life just like this, upgrading behaviors over time. Remember, this is a journey. Be easy on yourself. Start with the areas you have control over, like your home or your personal care products, then move on to bigger items like investing in stainless steel or enamel cookware. Check out the Environmental Working Group's website, ewg.org, for helpful guidelines for improving your environments. Lastly, base your upgrades on your family's needs, values, and financial abilities. When all else fails, say the Serenity Prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Finally, I want to talk about the importance of our relationships, especially now when many of us feel so isolated. This is a big topic, so I won't be able to give it the time it deserves, but I wanted to at least touch on it. Humans are social beings, and happy, healthy relationships are the key to living happy, healthy lives. A truth many of us don't realize is that our relationships influence our waistline. Obesity spreads through social networks. Studies show that if one best friend becomes obese, their best friend has a 171% chance of becoming obese themselves. If you're just friends, you have a 57% chance of becoming obese. And if you and your friend are the same gender, your risk jumps up to 71%. Now, I'm not suggesting we all break up with our friends who aren't skinny. Rather, let's enlist our friends to join us on our movement goals so we can get healthier together. Let's be agents for change in our communities. Another interesting fact I want to share with you, according to Esther Perel, is this is the first time in human history where we try to have all of our needs met by a single source, our partners. And this couldn't be further from the truth right now. But humans are social beings, and as such, we need to diversify our relationships so that we can have multiple people help us meet our needs, and all the burden does not fall to one person. When I finally met a friend who loved to talk about health as much as I did, my husband was so grateful he no longer had to listen to me go on and on and on about health stuff. My parents are my foundation and help me navigate life's challenges by sharing their sage wisdom with me. I love making time to get pampered with my sister and my best friend. As for my husband, he's the love of my life. He's always curious about life and sees possibilities all around us. He's the person I love to explore the earth with and create a lifetime of memories with. As you can see, I have many relationships to fill my various needs for connection. Lastly, I want to mention social media. Many people treat their social media connections as relationships, checking in, liking, commenting, and sharing posts. Most of us spend more time connecting on social media than we spend connecting in real life. And when I even approach the subject with my clients, they will defend their need to scroll without even contemplating what they are unwillingly sacrificing. Dr. Ellen Vora says we are in a, quote, attention economy. She says, quote, "We are in this moment where our attention is the commodity being competed for by smart companies who have done their homework. They know their neuroscience and behavior psychology. They know if they prey on our fears of response and instill fear and doubt and controversy, that we will stay glued and give our increased larger share of our attention, giving them more clicks and ad revenue, and our mental health is our collateral damage. We didn't make conscious choices as we navigate the information landscape. Companies want to make money and they know fear sells, so we are constantly bathed in fear-inducing messages and we lap it up believing nothing is okay, end quote. Dr. Vora calls this doom scrolling because unlike a book or TV show, which have natural endings that allow us to put them down and move on to something else, our social feeds have no natural stopping point. So we keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling without realizing how much time has passed. I recently challenged myself to get off social media for a couple weeks, and I've been off it now for over 2 months. Sure, in the beginning, it was like pulling off a Band-Aid, but now I don't know where I would find the time to even sneak in a peek, because I know if I do, more time will pass than I have or want to spend looking at social media. Here's the thing about relationships. We're in them in hopes that someone will see us for who we really are and love us despite our flaws. I encourage you to listen to your friends and family with empathy. Hold space for multiple truths, reality, perspectives, because we're all having an experience of our shared experiences. Something else I would like to share, which others have told me they find helpful. When I get angry or upset with someone, I often remind myself that they're doing the best they can in the moment with their given resources. And this opens up space for grace to unfold and for a connection to stay intact in that moment. Why do I share all this? Because I believe it's important that we curate and nurture our relationships. Time is our most precious and valuable resource. So how are you spending it and who are you spending it with? Couple questions to ask yourself. Are you spending your time in relationships that nourish you? Are you spending it in relationships that positively impact you? Do your relationships challenge you to be the best version of yourselves? What is the value you provide in your relationship? And what is the value you receive in your relationships? Audrey Hepburn said, "Nothing is impossible. The word itself says, I'm possible." So we've covered a lot today. And I'm not asking anyone go from 0 to 100. I'm asking that we put on our walking shoes and we get our bodies moving. I'm asking that we consider the health of the environments we live in. I'm asking that you consider the company that you keep and the social media account you give your viewership to. What is one action step or deposit you'll take this week towards your health and well-being? If you'd like, please share a comment in the box. Again, I'd like to thank you for making this investment in your health and by showing up and participating in our conversation today.
All right. Amanda, I can't see if there are any questions or anything, so I'm kind of flying blind here, but
Yeah.
I'll defer to you two.
No questions in the Q&A box yet, but if anybody has any, definitely feel free to type those in.
So I guess I will, this one's kind of near and dear to me, as I think many of you know, kind of exercise is my stress release in a otherwise stressful job at times. This month, no different. So, I think all that I heard from Cristen was encouraging, all positive stuff. Would not disagree with a single sentence of it. I think just even on days where I don't feel like I want to work out, I kind of force myself to do it. And I feel so much better afterwards. And I'm always thankful that I did. So I think that's great. On, sort of the cookware and the toxins that are out there, I'm very keenly aware of those sorts of things. We've gone through and changed all of our cookware to, what is it called, Cristen? The Teflon, the non-Teflon or whatever that's.
The enamel.
Yeah. Yeah. So in which they're, they're great. They are candidly a little bit more expensive, as you might imagine, but would certainly encourage folks that are kind of interested in that thing. And I've read about even children who are firstborn, that they've done studies that even that is found in their bloodstream because of the mother consuming food cooked in those types of pans. So that was something that we pay close attention to. So no, I thought this was all great. Very, very helpful as always. Any other questions? Amanda, are you seeing anything that's popped up?
Nothing coming in. To add my own 2 cents, if that's okay, Matt, if you're done.
Sure, please go ahead.
I want to echo Kristen's thoughts on the small swaps. That's something that she and I have definitely talked about, and whether it's swapping out what you're using for 15 minutes of your time a day, whether it's swapping one walk for more of a strength training session, swapping one cleaning product. It really makes a difference not to pressure yourself to do everything at once, but just as it comes up, make that one more conscious decision to add on to things. I always appreciate my conversations with Kristen. We really dive into stuff, and this is no exception. Truly wonderful information. We do have one question coming in. Lanny is asking, is vegan truly all superior?
Is that a trick question or setting me up for something? Well, next time in our next session, we are going to talk about nutrition and hydration. So I will maybe leave the whole answer to that, but my response is going to be that there is no one diet that is truly superior or best for anybody. And I believe in bioindividuality and eating in line with our own values and needs. So I will leave it at that. And if you choose to be vegan, and it's working for you and you have the energy that you want and the muscle mass you want and it's working, that's fantastic. And if you are a meat eater, that is also fine. I just encourage you to buy the healthiest, cleanest, sustainable, rejuvenating animal products that your budget will allow for.
So what I'm hearing from you is our final session of this next month. Are we doing it next month, guys? In May, I guess. Is going to be on food and that sort of thing.
Yep. So next time we'll discuss nutrition, and I'm not giving dietary guidelines. Everybody thinks of me as the health coach is like, I just want you to put me on a diet. I don't do that. I help you find clean ways of eating in the diet that you choose to eat in. So we will just kind of go over some key touch points for any diet, such as using the environmental working groups, Clean 15, if you're going to buy fruits and vegetables, and the Dirty Dozen. So I'll be covering kind of tips and tricks like that. And we'll also be diving into a bit more about what's the proper amount of water we need to be hydrating with. So.
Yeah, I think I'm looking forward to that one. As I think and as many folks that if they're on the call that have had lunch with me over the years, I've been gluten-free for 5-6 years now. So it's definitely a lifestyle.
Yes, absolutely.
Perfect. Amanda, any other questions that are coming up?
Nothing coming in now. If anybody thinks of anything after the fact, please feel free to email that over to me, and I'll definitely connect with Kristen and make sure we get your question answered before the next call, and the details for the next call will be coming soon.
All right. Well, Kristen, we appreciate you joining and sharing some of your wisdom as always, and we'll look forward to our final session, in particular around diet and food, and we'll see everybody then.
Awesome. Well, Matt, Amanda, thank you again for having me and allowing me your platform to share this information.
Awesome. Thank you, Kristen.
Thank you. Everybody have a great day.
You too.
Thanks, everyone.